Well, I'll tell you, last week it was a great win for us as a team. Guys did what they needed to do, made plays throughout the game that we needed to make. Obviously, we got the home field advantage with our fan base staying our student body, especially the student body, but our entire fan base staying the entire game to give us that home field advantage. And we're really excited. I think to have college game day here it is really neat for our program. And everybody to really get to see. I think last week they saw the type of atmosphere we have here, and want to have a sellout crowd this week. I think there's still standing room only tickets that they're still selling at this point to give us that home field advantage, I think that is so important coming in here to this game. Interesting. I mean, it's really exciting for the state of Mississippi right now with the success that both universities are having. Pretty proud here. I mean, I hear we end up as coaches kind of locked away sometimes, so you don't get to see that excitement that's all around. But I know people around the state. There's a lot of pride with everybody around the state of Mississippi and what we're able to accomplish on the football field, and that's fantastic. We can be a part of that. So. That is really exciting. We got a tough matchup this week with Auburn. The best team we've played so far. As Bill told me right now, every team we've played so far this year has been undefeated going into the game. So it's another one, But you look at Auburn and the type of team they are. Team knows how to win. Obviously, the defending conference champion. They got to play for a national championship last year. Their guys know how to win. They've played in big games, know how to play in big games. Got one of the top defenses in the conference. You look at them, a lot of talented players. They roll a lot of guys through on the defensive line. They got big physical linebackers, and they got great athleticism in the secondary to cover you. You go to the other side of the ball, they have I think the most experienced quarterback in the league that's back, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, leads the league in rushing. They got big play wide receivers on the outside, and obviously they're a great running team with a big physical offensive line and a bunch of different backs they'll throw at you. Including their main guy is the third leading rusher in the SEC. So. Really another huge challenge for us this week with a great team coming in, and should be a pretty exciting game. Should be fun. Should be a great atmosphere, and we'll be ready to go play.
Questions? We'll get a mic to you.
Last couple of weeks when discussing Dak Prescott, you brought up the relationship he's developed with Brian Johnson. How has Brian helped him during the game week, and then his input during the game himself in the press box?
Well, you know what, it's great, because, the one thing Brian, by getting to be upstairs, really gets to see everything. I think a lot of times when you're upstairs, it's like watching the game film. I mean, it really all lays out there to him. And, for me, I'm kind of back and forth sometimes with them, and then I'm with the defense every once in a while. But, even though I only had Brian for a year, when he's talking to him, it's how I like talking to quarterbacks and how I want it done. It's a lot of discussion on what went on. They come off the series, they just go through the series. What did you see? Why did you do this? And, Dad kind of talks through everything that happened. And then Brian says, okay, this, if there's something that we made a mistake on, this is where the mistake was. This is, maybe you didn't see this happen out there on the field, or, this is what happened on the backside of that read. So I think there's just really great communication about what's getting done on the field.
Ron's only played football for about 3 years. Are you really surprised at where he is right now?
No, because he's a hard worker. He came in and he's got a great practice work ethic out there on the field. I know playing basketball last year, missed a little bit of the off season. So I still think he has a lot of improvement he can make, but he's got very natural ball skills, and I think that the ability with his ball skills and his body control certainly help him, and his size, that mismatch. So, when he gets himself in position, he's very natural catching the ball and allows him to make a lot of good plays.
You've been a part of a lot of teams that have been ranked this high and gotten this much attention, but is it more special for you to be in the head coach of a team that's getting this attention?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, it's fun. Still down in there in the meetings trying to figure out how to score some points and how to shut them down, but I think all of our coaches on our staff, everybody's proud of, you know, I mean, we've been able to build here a little bit, but, you know, I mean, obviously this was nothing to do with our goal. You know, rankings and all are really cool. The only one that I see is we're 2-0 in the SEC with 6 games to go, so we really haven't accomplished all that much yet. And the rest of it is just, it's kind of cool.
Coach, when you were recruiting Dak Prescott 4 years ago, what did you see out of this kid to make you believe a Heisman Trophy campaign or this kind of play was possible in him?
Well, I don't, you know, when you talk about like all those national awards and Heismans and stuff like that, I think part of our offensive system certainly helps that with guys. I think, you know, I've been blessed to have some really good quarterbacks, but a lot of quarterbacks that play that succeed at the highest levels within our system and get mentioned for all these awards is fantastic. But, you know, I mean, you don't look at guys in recruiting that. I look at a guy that was a winner. You know, I mean, he's a guy that had an unbelievable work ethic, a desire to be great at whatever he was doing. I mean, you just saw that when you were around him. You talk to his high school coaches, you talk to people at the high school, that's what they say. I mean, you just got to drive to be great. And those are the type of guys you want because they're going to really develop and they're going to push themselves and maximize their ability to become the best they can be. We're a developmental program, so I love guys that have that desire to want to be great. And so you saw that in him, and you know, I still think he's getting better every single day. We had a great practice last night. I think, you know, we improved as a team last night, and I think that's really important for us.
You mentioned that development, and you're now in year 6, and you had your starting punter and kickoff guy go out.
Yeah.
Your leading receiver and your starting center. You beat the number 6 team in the country by 17.
Yeah.
Just speak about the development of those younger guys like Desper and Beckwith moving over and those guys.
Well, I think, you know, we have some older guys on the team and the experience aspect of them, knowing that, you know, we always talk about, you know, you got to do your job. You never know when your number is going to be called to make a play. You never know what play in the course of the game is going to be the one to change it. I tell our guys every week, if you know what play is going to be the deciding factor of the game, let me know so I can make a great call. You know, you never know which one it's going to be. You got to be ready and you got to prepare that way. And I think the leadership within our program, the older guys, do a great job for younger guys, so they get to know to be ready. I mean, the fact that 2 of those 3 guys went down during, like it was basically during warm-ups that we figured they couldn't play, certainly made me sleep better. So, you know, and probably everybody else, you know, I mean, there's no real pressure on Logan Cook. He got about 30 seconds notice to realize that he's going to go hit the opening kickoff. So he didn't really have time to get nervous about it. He just had to go do it. But I think guys, you know, within the program, they see that. They're ready for when their number's called. They're given that opportunity to go step up and perform at the highest level.
Coach, you've accomplished something here that even Jackie Sherrill didn't. Has that set in yet?
No, but, you know, I mean, Jackie will still tell me I probably got to do a lot of things to catch up with him. And no, you know what? It's fantastic, but you know, I still don't know. You know, for us, our goal is to win the SEC West. That's something he did. We haven't done that yet. So, you know, everything else, I don't know that it's really that important right now. You know, I mean, in my years in the SEC, one thing I've learned: if you win a really big game in this league, the gift is you get an even bigger one the next week. And that's about all you get. And you know, we won a huge game on Saturday. We won a huge game 2 weeks ago. We got a bigger game last Saturday. We won a really big game on Saturday. We get an even bigger one this week. That's what this league's all about, and that's kind of how it works.
Coach, lots of emotions Saturday. The whole country watched your players celebrate. You know, you even showing some emotion in the post-game press conference. So is this week at all about kind of calming down, or do you find that easy with your team?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, you know, for us. We're playing an even better team this week, so we're going to have to play better this week than we did last week. And the only way that's going to happen is we work harder at practice, we work harder at everything that we do, and we become a better football team. So I think the reality of that within the program, you know, I think when everybody looks at, you you know, the emotions that go on in it all is fantastic. And in the sense of accomplishment's great. You know, and I think, you know, I mean, I have a lot of pride in our university, and I have a lot of pride in the state of Mississippi. And I think a lot of the emotions are in what has gone on here in the state. You know, you look at the two universities in the state, both ranked number 3 nationally. That's pretty special. I mean, this is for all the people here, because I think you're always hearing about maybe what Mississippi's last in, or if we're ranked high, it's something for not great. But to be you know, considered one of the best, that's something that's really dear to everyone's heart in the state. That really everybody in the whole state can celebrate, not point fingers or any of that stuff. Everybody can celebrate, I think, is pretty special. I think that's the emotion. Now, the reality of it all for us is we got to get to work and be a better football team, or, you know, I mean, we really, none of us, I mean, except for being able to feel good this week, and in that, and our guys probably getting patted on the back around campus, haven't accomplished anything close to what we want to accomplish. And, you know, I mean, you know, the difference between a pat on the back and a kick in the rear end is about 6 inches. So, I mean, you know, I mean, we got to make sure we keep it at the high end of those 6 inches right there, because if not, it'll turn to the second.
Dak has obviously always come across as pretty mature, and I know you've done this before with big-time quarterbacks, but, you know, obviously the attention he's receiving, at least nationally, is exploding over the last couple of days. Do you have, like, a come-to-Jesus talk with him about it, or do you have, I mean, anything like that? I mean, how does it work with him?
Yeah, you know, we're talking about that stuff, but, you know, most importantly, he's got to be him. Someone around here has got to be mature, so... you know, I was just in our staff meeting with the cheeseburger that Billy Gonzalez was eating, and, you know, I mean, shoot, Brian Johnson's still only like 26 or 27 years old, so someone around here's got to be mature. I act like a kid all the time. No, you know what, when you have that deal with him, you know, the talk is that he got here being Dak Prescott, so if he really likes kind of what's going on with it all, continue to be Dak Prescott. If you don't, then change, and go be something else. And but you'll also see different results that come along with that. And so I think that's, when you look at it that way, that's what it is. You know, I mean, he's a young college kid that's, you know, having a good time. And you know, I tell him, don't take yourself too seriously. You know, and anytime you start to take yourself too seriously, find the people that'll keep you in check. You know, I mean, it's very easy for me to not take myself too seriously, because I go home, I got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old and a beautiful wife, and you know, and you know, I'm dad to them. That's all I really am, and that's kind of cool. I mean, they don't. I mean, my son's really juiced when we win. You know, he's really into the rankings right now. I'm starting to compete with some other people out there for his favorite. He likes the winners. But, you know, you do that. I have a great group of friends, like, you know, I mean, and anything, you know, I mean, you get texts from your friends, but a lot of them are still, like, kind of, you know, busting your chops about stuff. And so I said to him, I said, you know, the people that have always been there for you, that are always going to act the same, you know, they're always still going to act the same, and everything else, just, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Have fun with it. It's really neat, and enjoy it, because, you know, I mean, sometimes it'll be there, sometimes it won't, and that aspect of things, all that attention, all that hype, that's constantly changing, you know, and you know, and so you just kind of take it for what it is, the reality behind it all, and the people that are the real everything, you know, that are constant. Those are the things that really matter.
Then with Jamion's injury, Gabe Miles was given a starting opportunity to just evaluate his performance and his development over there.
Well, I thought he did really well. You know, I mean, we continue to stress and, you know, remind him, hey, Jamion was in a very similar situation that Gabe's in. Jamion was a high school quarterback. You know, went to state championship. Really similar. They have very, very similar backgrounds, and they got to come and learn this kind of new position. And you know, so I think you see Gabe really kind of doing some things well at that position, and still learning in other aspects of it right there. But you know what? You know, I was pleased with is we didn't skip a beat. You know, he didn't flinch. You know, Smokey got to go in and take some of those reps too, and he didn't flinch. They were ready to go. And you know, I credit a lot of that to Billy Gonzalez does a great job with the receivers, making sure they're all ready.